Welcome. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be showing you how I go about creating segments of a circle inside of Carbide Create. Carbide Create is the CAD and CAM software that you use typically with a Shapeoko CNC router. So I have a Shapeoko XL, which I've shown in the videos before. This can be a little bit tricky because Carbide Create doesn't have a lot of the functionalities that you would expect from a traditional CAD software like Fusion 360. So some operations like this that are pretty easy in Fusion, or normally you would maybe just go to like a vector program like Figma and then export into Carbide Create, you can actually get creative with the tooling and do some of these things directly inside of Carbide Create. So like I said, today I'm going to show you how to create a segment of a donut shape. I'm using this to build a piece of a wedding arch, but anytime you need a shape like this, hopefully the video will be helpful. So let's get going. Okay, so first we have to draw our outer circle. What I do is when I draw an outer circle, I just make the circle any size and I put it anywhere on the canvas. I purposely try to not put it in the center because I want to be able to really make sure that I remind myself to move it to the center. So I want this to be a 24-inch outer circle. So I'm going to make my radius 12. And then, like I said, I'm going to use the center tool to move it to the middle of the canvas. I'm going to create a copy of that. And for this, what I'm trying to do is make the inner circle. So for my inner circle, I'm going to have a 20-inch diameter. We'll put that there. And then again, we'll use our center tool and we will move it to the center of the canvas. So we want to create a segment here. And that's not easy to do without some guidelines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our line tool. I'm going to drag that out and I'm going to create a straight up and down line and then I'll click done. Now, of course, that line itself needs to be centered and this will be one edge of the segment that we're creating. Let's duplicate that line. Now we have a second line. This line we can rotate off by 45 degrees and then we'll center that as well. So what we're trying to grab here is essentially this segment out of the donut, just this piece right here. And in a tool like Fusion 360, this is fairly straightforward to do because you can split this circle over the line and then just select the 4 segments that make up this portion of the donut, and you can extrude based on that. But in Carbide, you can't do that. So we have to get a little bit more creative. The way I'm going to do it is by using a polyline. So a polyline will actually let us snap. You can see how it's filling in and snapping directly to the pieces that I'm trying to be on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this trapezoidal shape that sits over the donut that I'm trying to create. Then what I can do is I can take the donut, select the inner line, and I can use a subtraction. You can see how that changed my trapezoidal shape to take the inner donut away. And then I can select my trapezoid and my outer, and I can use an intersection. And what I'm left with is just the segment of the circle. So I have this by itself. Once I have that, I can delete my guidelines that I used to create the segment. And then if I want to, what I can even do is I can take the shape and I can rotate it back 22.5 degrees. And now I've got something that I can place onto a piece of wood and make effective use of my stock. So hopefully that was helpful. I hope I hope the video came out clear enough and it seemed like a reasonable explanation. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. Also, if you're interested in more content like this, consider subscribing here and consider also following me over on Instagram at cjohnmake. Have a great night.